Russell Westbrook left Thursday's loss to the Clippers with a fractured right hand during the second quarter and did not return. Coach Scott Brooks on the injury.
He's out for some time along with Durant. I mean, what's the impact?
Well, you know, I don't want to start thinking about that yet. I'll think about that tonight as I leave the arena, but we have to figure it out together. I told the guys at halftime what needs to be said, and I thought they responded.
All right, well, since he came into the league, OKC has only played one game without Westbrook and Durant, but now 7 of the 15 players on their roster are injured. Stephen A., consider all of that. Are you worried about the Thunder?
Not at all. I'm really not at all, because I expect them, even if they were to make the playoffs, which they were going to do with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant in the mix, they would be the number 2 or number 3 seed in the Western Conference in all likelihood. Now, because of this, they have the possibility of falling to a 4th, 5th, or 6th seed. I understand the ramifications of that, but when these guys are on their game, they can beat anybody, and when they're off of it, they could lose to anybody. So I don't think the circumstances are drastically changed for them in that regard. Not to mention the fact that even though they're young lions and they look like they could play all day long when healthy, the reality is that their legs are going to be fresh whenever they choose to come back, because there's going to be an absence of mileage that they've accumulated due to the fact that they were off because they were injured. I think that bodes well for them when they come back. Am I going to be concerned? Maybe about rust, but after you wear off the rust, this is about Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant being Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. And when that happens, they are clearly a dynamic duo that elevates the Oklahoma City Thunder to elite status, and I expect that to continue. They have gone on the road. They have won before in the most hostile of confines when they are on their game. So I'm really, really not concerned about what their record is, as long as they're not out long enough where they are in danger of missing the playoffs. I'm not concerned about them being any different than they've been. They are a legitimate title contender, top 5 team in the league, and that's exactly where I expect them to be when all is said and done.
I hear you. I'm having a hard time answering this question because there are too many X factors going on here. Remember, Kevin Durant broke a very delicate bone in his foot, one that often requires a second surgery. So are we sure that Kevin's going to come back 100% Kevin Durant? I don't know. I don't know how long Russell's going to be out. They're guesstimating 4 to 6 weeks. Who knows?
Yeah.
Have no idea. But that was literally and figuratively a bad break for the Oklahoma City Thunder because, as you know, Stephen A., Reggie Jackson is out with a bad ankle. Jeremy Lamb is out with a bad back. And a key pickup for them and a very good sort of unsung player is Anthony Morrow is out with an MCL sprain, which could keep him out for a while. Well, that's a lot of firepower missing. So let's just do the hypothetical. Let's do worst case. They could fall into a deep hole, and they would have to scratch and claw if they get both their stars back, and I'm going to assume they will. But could they not become the most dangerous 8th seed in the history of the playoffs if they get healthy and suddenly get back and barely make it into the playoffs? But I will give them this. I don't know if many people stayed up late enough to know, but one Perry Jones last night for the Oklahoma City Thunder went for 32 and 11. And by the way, your other pick to win the West and to win it all, the Clippers, barely hung on at home to win 93 to 90 over a team that was run in the end by Sebastian Telfair. He lives and breathes with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And Stephen A., the Thunder on the Clippers' home floor out-rebounded your Clippers 47 to 33. That's not a good sign for your Clippers. That's just me.
I totally agree, but it's only a game. It was this season opener.
Yes.
It's only a game or 2 into the season. I'm not concerned about that. Let's see what they do against the Lakers tonight. I'm sure you'll see a distinct difference.
Really? What kind of difference, Stephen A.? What are you thinking?
Listen, Kerry, I want you to have a good weekend.
So
don't
you're,
ask those questions.
yeah. So you're trying to say it's not going to happen.
Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
I feel like we might have an upset. I never know. Okay. Thunder are 0-2 for the very first time since